Sun and Steel back again just quickly. I've been thinking about that whole thread about the overviews and things that can be done in the environment to perk it up. I really like Craig's Crag in the new East March area. That's really well designed. In fact, that whole area is, considering it's just a variation on the whole Whitemere Swamp theme, I think the whole area is really well designed and gives sort of like a grotto-y sort of semi-fantasy sort of area. It's actually really cool, considering there's enough difference and enough different vibe and atmosphere in the area to make it feel like it's not just a recycled Whitemere sort of tool set. So yeah, really well done with that. But the point that I wanted to make quickly, because I've been thinking about what Madeira was saying and what the other people have been saying on that thread about the overviews and that sort of thing. I mean, here I am outside Hanafi's mine, or sorry, Staunton mine, and you can see there's quite a nice overview here, you know. That's really quite a spectacular. You've got all of the scenery that's there. Like you've got the Rover camp over here that I can see that I've just come from, the bridge I crossed to come around, these guys here that I left alive that are just outside the Rover camp. You know, if it was tilted back a bit more, I'd be able to see the Rift Gate over here. So it's really got a nice little sort of river gully area there. It really provides quite a scenic, even just this little area here provides quite a scenic sort of overview. And the game is actually full of these. That's why, and no one can understand why the guy is saying what he's saying. You know, why he says, oh, it needs more overviews and more sort of dramatic scenery, when the game is actually full of this sort of stuff. Having considered that question, I believe I had the answer to that. The main problem is that most of these overviews are actually hidden. They're too far away from where the spawns are procking. They're too far away from the proc points or the proxies of the spawns, the spawn points, for people to actually see them all the time and be able to appreciate the fact that they're there. So I mean, most people are just like, in this area here, you can see where the blood spatters are. If I'm playing this zoomed in, I'm just coming down here and I'm fighting these guys, and then that's it, you know. I'm running down. There's nothing that actually takes me. There's no reason for me to go right to that edge. I'm running down the path here. So I just sort of take for granted that there's this excellent bloody overview of the Rover camp I've just come from, and the rest of it, because I'm not being forced to go close enough to the edge to be able to catch a glimpse of it. I think that's the main problem. I mean, and it's the same, if I scroll out, it's probably even worse. Like, here's my field of view. This is a default camera angle. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. Kill these fuckers, yeah, righto, and then we'll just dive in here without ever turning the camera around and looking out over here and then realising, oh shit, this is where I just come from. Oh, check this all this shit out. Oh wow. Oh, that looks really cool. So that's not actually involved in the gameplay, because most players are just going to kill the mobs. So I believe that one thing there probably accounts for the fact, because that seems to happen everywhere in the game. You've got some really cool areas and you've built some nice overviews and stuff, but because the action is not actually taking place right there at the overview, the action's usually back from it. People just completely miss the scenery. So yeah, I hope that helps explain. I couldn't understand it, but then I've been thinking about it, and that's basically what I can come up with. And from what I've seen, playing through again with keeping that in mind, that's what I've seen. And the thing about Craig's Crag is that it changes that dynamic. You're basically forced to walk over skyways, you're forced to stand up on top of small peaks, and you're forced the battle and the action is actually taking place right near the edge of the scenery, and you're forced to actually see the fact that you're high up and there's a lot of stuff around you. You can see the places that you're going to go to or that you've come from. You catch a glimpse of those even while you're fighting other mobs. You catch a glimpse of mobs in the distance while you're involved in combat with mobs in the foreground. So I think that area will satisfy him. I'd be surprised if he doesn't actually write back on the forum and say, "Oh, Crate, this is exactly what I was talking about." But I think there's a lot of areas like that. It's just that the action is away from those scenic views. Means that most people just miss it, because people they just run a little rabbit trail and that's it, man, from one mob to the next, like fucking chooks, mate, from one speck of wheat to the next. So if you really want to monopolise on the scenery that you've created, Crate, you need to actually bring the player you have to bring the player and the action to the place where they're going to be right there and it's going to slap them in the face, So I appreciate what you guys have done. I think it's great. I sometimes wander around here and just have a look, because it's worth it. Some of the areas you've created are worth just wandering around and having a bit of a look, Alright, I better cut it off there, otherwise, I'm not going to ever shut up. Thanks again, see ya.